think
Okay,
Brian
ready? No, we're good. I paused for a moment outside the hospital room, taking a deep breath, a final moment of calm before diving headfirst into the barrage of pain that awaited me on the other side of the door. The love of my life, Kailey, motionless, save for the intermittent breaths she took as oxygen pumped into her lungs with such precise regularity so as to make her breaths seem almost alien. She had never been quiet. That's what drew me to her in the first place. But now her silence feels more deafening than anything I've ever known. Why, God, I thought, why couldn't it have been me? They say that numbness eventually masks the pain, but I don't believe that. Numbness is its own kind of pain, a pain that you feel in the depths of your soul as you desperately search to feel again. Even in her state, she is more beautiful than all of the world's wonders combined. That beautiful lock of hair that always fell over her left eye, the rest of it draped over her shoulders, so perfect as if it was carefully designed by God himself to frame not just her face, but her entire being, gently guiding your eyes like a painting. She had aged so gracefully, a soft and youthful spirit still shining through in all that she did. I'd trade anything in the world just to see her smile again. A ray of sunshine peeked into the window, falling directly onto her face. Months ago, I might have prayed that this beautiful coincidence could be a sign, or let the sunlight inspire just the faintest ember of hope. But now, I know that hope is the worst part. Hope is the last thing I need. I peered out the window to the world that had moved on without me and without her ever since the diagnosis. I saw the cross on top of a church peering out over the skyline. How is it that men and women and children can believe in a God who would create such suffering and cruelty? They pray for life after death, but when Kailey first succumbed to this illness, every part of me died a painful death. And now, months later, I can tell you with certainty that this so-called life after death is nothing to pray for. I snapped out of my trance as the sound of the door handle pierced the room and Dr. Boggs entered. At this point, he no longer wastes time with greetings or small talk. He knows that I'll be in this room every time he enters, picking up right where he left off the day before. Some days, he will go through the entire routine, and not a word will be said between us. But this time, something bubbles inside me, and for the first time in weeks, I am the first to speak. Dr. Boggs, I say, I've read about some experimental treatments for this disease online. I know they aren't tested, but I'd like to know if you think that Kailey might be a candidate for them. Mr. Howeisen, he responded, I know how badly you wish you could wake up, but before he could continue, my heart suddenly came spilling out of my mouth. I'd give anything, Doc. Anything for her to wake up and come home with me tonight. If she did, I'd play with her perfect titties all night long. I'd trade all the money in the world for the chance to suck on those jugs, /cans, /knockers, /hooters one more time. I'm telling you, I know she would feel the same. One night together, and we would be doing so much dog cowgirl, pile driver, missionary, reverse cowgirl, boots, the lotus, the one where I stand up and pick her up and she bounces around on my hard little prick. I'd be Doc. I see, he said. Do you think she'd play with your balls too? Absolutely, I said. She would definitely play with my saggy sweat. She would think my balls were marbles and she was a world champion marble. Very nice, said Dr. Boggs, as he began to get out his chart and take notes. Can you tell me a little bit more about the titties before playing ball? Doc, I began. I'd warm those nips up like I was a mother bird and they were my egg. Slowly at first, sucking on those pencil erasers like a damn lollipop. Like a lollipop, Dr. Boggs echoed as he furiously wrote in Kailey's file. And let me tell you what I do once I started sliding down until we formed an Oreo. Her thighs, the cookies, my head, the cream filling. Just then, Dr. Boggs suddenly jolted his head up. Wait, before you tell me, do you think you could sing about it in the style of Guy Fieri? I took my hand out of my pants and scratched my chin. I suppose so. Why? Dr. Boggs responded, you know those experimental treats you mentioned? Well, supposedly in less regulated countries, doctors have found that singing to COVID-69 patients about banging them in the style of Guy Fieri can sometimes cure the disease. Wow, I stammered. I guess I can give it a shot. Do you have a guitar? He reached under the bed where an acoustic guitar had been sitting this whole time for some reason, and he handed it to me. Hand shaking. Listen, Mr. Howeisen, this isn't tested, and I could get in a whole lot of trouble for even mentioning this treatment to you. Don't worry, I said. Not a soul will hear about this. I'm desperate and grateful that you'd even let me try, but I understand that no one can hear about this. I promise. Do you want to signify the sanctity of the secret by touching our penises together? Thanks, Dr. Boggs. And with that, I raised my guitar to my chest, and in an instant, as if coming straight from God, the song began to flow. Well, I'm Guy Fieri, and I'm here to say I'm the biggest fucking joke in the USA. When I'm in your kitchen, I'll give your salad a toss, and if you touch me nicely, you can have my secret sauce. Oh, baby! That's how Fieri fucks. Oh, Kailey, how I love you. Please beat this disease so I can take you home and give those titties a squeeze. Before you know it, I'll be going down, down, down. In between your thighs is the real flavor town. Oh, baby.
Oh my God.
That's how Fieri fucks. When I'm on TV, I say slam-a-lamma ding-dong. When you're on your knees, I say suck on that ding-dong. When we need some spice, we're not reaching for the chili. We're reaching for the strap-on and you're fucking me silly. Oh, baby! That's how Fieri fucks. Suck on your coochie like it's a wet rack of ribs. And when it comes to eating ass, baby, I got first dibs. Tasting all of you is so bomb.com tasty. You're off the hook and on the pill, so let's not do time wasting. Oh, baby! That's how Fieri fucks. One more. Like the flames on my shirt, our love is ablaze. Now let me cover your donut in Guy's hot, creamy glaze. Kailey, please wake up and let's move on with our lives. Our house will be the home of diners, drive-ins, and muff dives. Oh, baby! That's how Fieri fucks. That's how Fieri fucks. Just then, Kailey's eyes opened for the first time in months. I looked over to see Dr. Boggs, who had been jerking off with his pants around his ankles, absolute pervert for the last 2 minutes, scrambled to the monitors to check her vitals. My God, he said with a quiver in his voice, it's a miracle. I smiled at the most beautiful girl I'd ever known. She smiled back. It's a miracle. Kailey finally spoke. I'm sorry, she said, but it's hard for me to distinguish between dreams and reality right now. There's only one way I can know this is real. Mike, let me see that freaking hog. I want to see that picture and I want to see those balls. Once I see your sausage and eggs, I'll know this is real. I slid my pants down, revealing pubes that had miraculously grown into the shape of a perfect Guy Fieri goatee. Slam-a-lamma me with that dong, she whispered, as the church bells began to ring in the background. In that moment, the world was filled with beauty, and as my heart beat with the warmth of 1,000 suns, I knew that life was as it should be. Kailey, the love of my life, and me, in a warm embrace so powerful that it shook the heavens, while Dr. Boggs wiped up his cum off the window.
Wow. Oh, fuck.
Well done. Well done.
Good.